1991 UK champion, Mr. John Parrott, and a man whose outright record of 6 UK titles might be equal this weekend, because Ronnie O'Sullivan is very definitely on your tail here. He says he's not driven by records. How well for you has he played in pursuit of a 6th title this week, Steve?
I think he's in the type of form that can win it. I think the reason is not necessarily that he's been producing astonishing snooker, but I think his shot selection has been great. He's got a very good balanced game these days. You're going to have a couple of scares along the way, but I think he's best placed to win this event, even though there's still some great players left in it. Well,
it's going to be an interesting matchup, this one, because Mr. O'Sullivan and Mr. Maguire have always produced a little bit of tension. There's always an air, there's always a crackle when they play one another. And this guy, Maguire, is certainly, unlike many players, not afraid of O'Sullivan.
Oh no, he'll dust the gloves off. He loves a ruck, so he'll be in there punching. I've been very impressed with him all week. I think, you know, I always say he hits the ball fabulously well, but he's also managed to keep the lid on his occasional outbursts of volatility that come with Steve Maguire. He's been on an even keel all week. He's played better for it, and the one feature of his game that's been very impressive, even in games when he's been 50 or 60 behind, he's cleared up a lot, and that's great when you come into a semi-final like this.
Interestingly, Steve, all 4 semi-finalists have had to go through at least one final frame decider, including O'Sullivan, who almost went out to the world number 84, Sonny Akani, and by the way, he wasn't the only near casualty of that fella, that's for sure. But it's been a very unusual championship in that regard. Only, what, 4 of the top 16 players making it to the last 16?
That's right. You could make a case that the UK used to be best of 17, now it's down to best of 11. You could make a case for that being the reason why so many seeds got beaten, but you could also make the case that actually it's because the standard of the lower ranked players is now closer to the standard of the top players. Whichever, we know full well it's tough to guarantee to win best of 11s. So Ronnie O'Sullivan gives himself every chance to win these matches by, as I said before, playing great competitive match snooker all the time, even though he's got that specialness in his locker.
OK, well, we're looking forward to this one. This evening's semi-final is going to feature the world number 6, Sean Murphy, and he'll take on Ryan Day, who after 19 years in this game has managed to get himself into a semi-final in one of the sport's major championships, the Triple Crown events, and this, of course, is the first of them this season, so it's been a great achievement for him. But this afternoon, it is the Rocket O'Sullivan against the Maverick Maguire.
I like to have thought I'd won a lot more from 13 year on kind of thing, but listen, that's just the way it goes. I'm back in the semis again, so 2 more matches, and you know the trophy's there waiting to be picked up.
Steve Maguire was a top player coming through, one of the younger guys, and I knew I was in for a tough match. I just remember just feeling so good, you know, every time I come to the table I was making 80s, 90s, 70s, and I just remember pulling away and, you know, and building up a big scoreline.
I'm pretty sure I was world number 2 there and he was world number 1, and he absolutely annihilated me. Listen, we've played since, we'll play again. Just look forward to it. It's the semi-final, so I've won a lot of matches to get here. I must be doing something right. I've played well, but I've not fired in all cylinders or anything. I've just been playing good enough to beat who's been in front of me. I'd like to think that I can improve again for the semi-finals.
Maguire, class act. You know, he's very, very good game. He's good enough to beat anybody in the world. He gave me a few good items when he first come on the circuit. He's been around, you know. Everyone knows what a great player he is, so I have to play well to get a result.
The atmosphere's different when you play Ronnie. Fair play, brings the crowd. There's nobody close to him that brings a crowd the way he does. So that is a difference when you play Ronnie. But at the end of the day, I've been about for, you know, I've been about a few years, so I know what to expect.
Well, this is the 10th time that these guys have squared up in one of snooker's Triple Crown events, the sports majors, over the years, including a UK final 8 years ago, won by O'Sullivan. And O'Sullivan also has a pretty emphatic strike rate, with 15 wins to 4 in their contests, overall matches between them. But I don't think that really tells the whole story, because these fellas have produced some electrifying contests. Meetings have been scarce over the last 5 years, so this is definitely one to look forward to from whichever vantage point you have.
Yes, and talking about vantage points, you won't get one better than the commentary box. Remember the boys, Dennis and Stephen, and what do you make of this match?
I think you've got a battle of 2 snooker bullies. Two players that like to really stamp their authority on matches and really overpower their opponent. So which one is going to be the hardest? Today we're going to find out.
Now, Dennis, you're talking about bullies, and sometimes Stephen's temperament can be a little bit volatile, but he's done really well. He's got an even keel. He's played better for it this week.
He certainly has, and against Joe Perry, although Joe didn't perform anywhere near the way he did in the previous round, he beat Joe quite comfortably 6-3, and Graham Dott 6-2. And he hasn't won a ranking event for 4 years, but that won't bother him. He will relish playing Ronnie O'Sullivan, that's for certain. He won't be frightened, and I'm really looking forward to this. This could be an absolute cracker.
Now, as for Ronnie's progress, much has been made by the fact that he's not played a top 16 player, but you can't do anything about the draw. You just turn up and play your matches. What have you made of his form this week?
Yeah, he's sort of breezed through it, really. I mean, he obviously had the match against Akane. It was a unique match. It was almost like a circus to what was happening. It was incredible. On paper, this is definitely his biggest test so far. There's no doubt about it. He's had an easy draw. Let's not be about the bush. He's not played anyone in the top 16 yet, and Steve Maguire's not in the top 16, but all day long he's a top 8 player.
Yeah, and Dennis, from Steve Maguire's point of view, we always mention against Ronnie it's so important to get a good start. You would think also the fact that he's not really been in the limelight, one table situation for a while, massive today for him.
Yeah, he's got to get off to a reasonably good start. He could do with sharing the first session, or even leading 3-1. That's what he'll have in his mind. He's got his dad and John Ray down, so he's got a lot of support. I'm really looking forward to this one, John.
Oh, we all are. So thanks very much for your opinion, boys. We'll hear your words this afternoon on our pictures. Enjoy it. Rob Walker, let's get these players out there.